Perez, and I don't know if anyone else knows every single person in this room. So they made me promise that we would do this really quick, but I'm gonna go around and have everybody stand up and just say who you are and who you're with or what you do. Just boom, up and down, and we'll see who everybody is, because there may be somebody in the room that somebody needs to know, right? Can we do that? How about you, young man? You start.
Young man, I'm Ronnie Knoll. I own Knoll Properties in Knoll, Arizona.
Bobby Sandage, just getting ready to open up Train to Win Sports, just right up here.
Yeah, you are.
Jose Perez, and I'm with Superior Water.
Bruce Spencer, I've got my fingers on a few things.
I'm Gerald Cook, I'm with Economic Development.
Keith Paget, and I'm just retired.
Hey, lucky you.
I'm Sharon Lobell, and I'm with Corporate All Inclusive Rentals.
Maria Lee, Black Dog Fiber Studio.
Sharon Smith, Merle Norman.
Mark Lee, president of Paragon, Madisonville, and a few other businesses, and privileged to serve on city council.
Amber Lady.
Oh, I'm Barbara Cotton. I'm with Economic Development.
Mary Ann Durbin, Exotic Florist Gifts.
Back there, more back around here.
Ronnie Clark, I'm in the health and wellness industry.
Zachary Mormon, and I do PT repair.
He's amazing.
I'm Ben Matter, that's my mom right there.
We know who you are.
I'm Tara Edwards with Edward Jones. I'm Jane. Sorry, I have a cold. I'm Jane Carty with First United Bank.
I'm Tanya Dixon with First United Bank.
I'm Terry Bernard with First United Bank.
Forrest is my
I'm Aaron Spencer with our refrigeration and restaurant supply.
I am Nina Smith, and I'm the general manager of Marco's Pizza.
I'm Rachel Nance Whaler, co-convener of Potluck Church.
Stand up.
Sorry.
I know.
I'm Sarah from the Kentucky Small Business Development Center.
Yes, you are.
Kevin Cotton, I'm with Brothers Barbecue and the Madison Fire Department.
Did you honk at me yesterday?
No.
I'm Jamie Lawrence, I'm with Payroll Area Development District.
I'm Ruth Ann Paget, Economic Development.
I'm Dan Bowie, retired and lazy.
You're here this morning, though.
I'm Marion Beller, and I'm with Lead Marketing Resources, online development, and Zach is one of my amazing people.
That's great. Did anyone meet or learn someone new there? Isn't that wonderful to know who's here? Okay, without further ado, I would like to introduce Jose Perez. He is the owner of, I just forgot. Superior Wash, that's it, Superior Wash. I've written it like 50,000 times. I met him at a lunch with the mayor after he had just joined chamber, and he's like so excited to hear about his story and how he got started. So come on up.
I'll make it after your speech. I don't even know where to start at. Let me see.
I thought I did.
I'll start with my personal life. I did nursing for 5 years. Me and my wife both did together. At the time, she wanted to continue her nursing career. We didn't have the money to go to college. So I said, well, I'll go home learning. Something I had never done before. I didn't even know about it. I heard through some friends, So I got into coal business, coal industry, and put her through school. She graduated as an RN last year. I've always liked business since I was 18. Throughout the years, I started 2 small businesses here locally in Madisonville. One was at the mall, was in indoor marketing, static advertising. That one so-so. I know you can do great, but just trying to get the community to get involved and having their business advertised. That's one of the biggest things that most businesses will fail because they like to advertise. You go back and look at McDonald's. McDonald's is a multi-million company, and they still advertise. Coca-Cola the same. So I didn't lose no money. I take a risk at small investments that I think either it's going to fail or make it, but I know I can make it better later on in the future. So I did that for a while. And then I also did a food delivery service called Velocity Food Delivery here in Madisonville. People would call me or place the order online. I had McDonald's, I had several restaurants on my website. And that was going well, but I didn't have time for it, so I got off of it. Then I looked into Superior Wash 3 years ago. I didn't have the funds for it, so I said, well, you just go ahead and continue, finish your school, we'll save up money, come up with enough capital. So I started in January, working through an interview process with the franchise, and in July I opened and got my LLC entity, and we started. I'm in business now, which I'm very busy. Today is actually one of my days that I had free. But I like Superior because I like their business model. Yes, I could have went in it and done it myself for saved myself a couple of thousand, but the branding was already there. And that's one of the hardest things that I've noticed around here. If you're not branded, you can't get in the door. So I said, well, I'll buy the brand name, With my work ethic, I know I can make this work. So we went through that process. I'm in business now, and I'm loving it. The reason I started this is I didn't finish high school, but I graduated through an academy. So everything that I've learned has either been through research by myself or researching. I researched the market. The market was great, It was also untarnished. Nobody has touched it. The people that's touched it has been a mom and pop's operation. And they usually will fail because most Fortune 500 companies are on net 30, net 60. I mean, your Washington account might be $20,000 for that month. Mom and pop operation, it's not gonna be able to wait. I'm nervous. But I said I'll follow their business model, their strategy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's why I got in it. I started for the foundation that purely for profit. I think the profit is there, which will initially create enough capital for me to start up other business here in Madisonville that I think they would do great for Madisonville. I like Madisonville just for a reason. The opportunity is here. The opportunity is here, and I know that the growth potential is here. It's just getting people, the community, to get involved in it, and not get so fixated that we have to go to Evansville or we have to go to Nashville, we have to go to Orangeburg just to go out and get a burger when there's local burger joints here. Farrell's, I'd never been to Farrell's actually until this year. One of my buddies took me up and downs about Farrell's, all the gossip, but I went in it and I think it was great. It's one of the greatest burgers that I've ever eaten. So I like that. So close-minded, and I put myself in that situation because I was close-minded to that specific restaurant, but that's how I think that most people here in Madisonville think. They're close-minded. Trying to get them to open up to new ideas would be the biggest challenge. But me being from Texas, I know that the growth and the potential is there. Being from Texas, I've seen it grow so much. So I think my home is Madisonville, and I'm gonna make it my community. 1 million cups, I think that is a great idea. I've never heard of it, but if I had, that's something I would have done earlier, sooner, so I could get my entrepreneurial skills more advanced. But I think joining now and being part of it, I think it would develop me to be a better entrepreneur. That's what I like. That's all I got. Any questions?
So your business is washing big fleet trucks, right?
Correct.
So how many of those would you do in a week, or how many can you possibly do in a day? I have no idea how much it would take to do.
I'm washing FedEx freight. They're a fleet of 69 pieces. It takes me about 8 hours to wash them, and that would be the truck and the trailer. I try to base by each truck, washing it, each truck maybe about 10 minutes, and the trailer about 5 minutes. And soap, brush, and rinse everything. There's two ways of washing. One is the first one that most mom and pop operations will do because it maximizes the profit and it's a whole lot easier on their workforce. It's called a two-step. Use two chemicals combined and it makes a chemical reaction and you have to brush it. The upside about that, it damages your paint. When I take a shower, I just don't put shampoo on my head and let it run down. You know, I scrub. And so brushing, and that's one of the sales pitch that sells them because once we see us brush and say, oh my God, you're brushing our trucks. Well, yes, I mean, that's the right way to do it. So we keep it simple. Like I said, if it ain't broke, we'll fix it. So yeah, go ahead.
You can clean a whole truck in 10 minutes and brush it and rinse it. I know you're using a pressure washer, but my God, that's moving fast.
Yes, it is. It's work.
That's the secret of any business,
Yes,
move
it is.
fast.
Yep.
It is work. Right now, I'm owner-operator. I'm working in my business. But in the future, I don't want to work in my business. I like to work for my business. That's one of the main things that I think that would keep me afloat. You know, people tend to get too involved in their business. They don't take time to realize what their business is doing, you know, and most of the time their business will fail because they're so focused working in their business instead of working for their business. Yes.
Where do you these 69 units that you order from FedEx?
Yes.
Are they all in different locations, or they bring them to you at a certain location?
Oh,
And where is
I'm
that
sorry.
location?
No, we specialize in, we're on site. We go to you. We got a box truck. We specialize in water recovery and spill cleanup. So we abide by EPA regulations. So if you don't have any permits to run soap in your ground, well then we recover all that water. But yeah, we go to their location and most of the time be on the weekend. So I'm busy on weekends. They're hopefully will be there. So we go to their location.
And where is that location?
Evansville, Indiana. Yes.
So he's bringing money back to Madison.
Jose, how were you able to land some of these corporate accounts? You just rolled out your, and I understand branding and
Yes.
and all of that, but you still had to go in and sell the business, sell yourself to some of these large corporations. Was that a struggle, or did it just kind of fall into place?
No, that's not a struggle. I don't consider myself religious, but I pray at night. I leave it to God. So I just walk in there and tell them I'm not pushy. You know, I let them know what I got and what we do, and they give us a call back. So, you know,
And then you deliver on the promises.
correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay, this is a franchise.
Yes, correct.
Okay. The, early on, when you're starting a new business, I can see where a franchise really helps you.
Correct.
You know, they hand you this structure that if you're starting on your own, you don't have this structure.
Correct.
The downside to it is, once you learn how to do it, you're still dealing with this franchise.
No, not really, because the only way I'm billing is I'm paying 10% so then to do my billing. That's the reason I love this franchise, because
Okay.
I'm owner, I'm the operator, I will handle my business how I want to handle it. So at the end of the day, I just give them 10% for them to handle my billing and take care of in-call sales, which is part of it, and that's it. We part ways. They don't tell me how to do my job. They don't tell me, I mean, they let me know, hey, you know, we came up with this new soap, we'd like you to try it, and it's my choice to try it or not to try it.
Okay, so of that 10%, they provide the signage,
The billing.
Well, in the billing, do they help you with a business structure as far as your accounting, things to help you with your paperwork,
My invoices, I handle my invoices, which they train me, which is part of my franchise fee. They train me how to take care of my invoices, which I do that Sunday night, bill out Monday morning, which it don't take about 20 minutes.
What kind of an area do they protect you with? I mean, let's say if I want to open up a super wash, can I open up one across the street?
No, it's a protected territory, so the whole state of Kentucky, I currently own it. Evansville, that's something that if you wanted to do, corporate would contact me and say, hey, you know what, there's a guy that wants to get involved in your area, would you be okay with it?
And you've got the whole state of Kentucky with super wash?
Yes, yes.
Wow, okay.
So that's good.
I know you said that you saved money in order to be able to go into this business.
Correct.
Did you have you had any experience with banks, or have you had a need for financial help that you've had to go to the banks or someone to help you fund your business?
Yes, I have. I actually also, I took a big risk, and I withdrew my 401k, which I think it'll pay itself back. Transferred into a CD, and I borrowed against it. So that's part of it.
Explain to them what you explained to me outside about how you found franchises and what kind of opportunities around there, and how you kind of looked through what was available because you wanted to start a business.
I joined the franchise.com newsletter. Like I said, I've considered myself an entrepreneur since I was 18. David Buster's, I forget his real name, but he beat me to that idea. I wish I would have had that money. But that idea, I had talked to it about with my wife. Then 3 years later, he pops up. You know, he's a self-made millionaire, dropped out of college, 23, 24 years old. Don't franchise none of his business, which is great for his market. He just beat me to it, you know. I just got to find a better one.
I believe you had mentioned in your talk that you were interested in starting other businesses. What else do you have on your radar?
I've actually talked to you about some of it. I went to your location and inquired about some equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. I would like to keep it confidential just because it's a great opportunity.
Sure.
And it maximizes profit, and it's never been seen around here before. So I would hate to talk about it and then somebody else just like it.
He's learning.
Have another presentation.
You got things cooking though. I see another.
That was my exact question, but I wanted to ask you a little bit more about what drew you to Madisonville? Because I've met you and,
Yes.
and Jimmy, and I know you all are from Texas, and you have a really, really strong family unit down
Yes.
there. So why did you pull away, and are you going to bring the rest of them up here? They have an amazing family.
No, Madisonville, I'm family oriented. My family's family oriented. But living on the border is a lot of crime. And it's always a touchy subject, but it's real easy to get involved. You know, when the easy money is there, it's easy to get involved. And that's why when you see the news and all that, I mean, you can't really blame them, because if that's all you got, that's all you got. You know what I mean? You gotta make a living one way or another. You know, and that's the reason I decided to move up here, to separate myself from that. It hurts. It hurts me not being with my mom and dad. It hurts me, my son and daughter not being with their grandma and grandma. You know, it's painful, but it's a sacrifice that I'm doing for my family, for their future. You know, and that's basically
But
it.
why Madisonville?
My father-in-law was here, and he actually lives in Slaughters. He's been here 15 years. He used to work at Tyson. My wife graduated early at 16. That's the reason I dropped out of high school, to come with her. So we moved here to Madisonville. I like Madisonville. I think it's very family-oriented, good place to raise a family. That's the reason. That's all I got.
How many employees do you have currently with this business?
Right now, through my business plan, to maximize my profit, is me and my cousin. I do need a third person. So I'm gonna bring my brother. He needs a job. So I'm gonna bring him up here. But with the current contracts as they're coming in, I'm gonna need another crew. There's companies calling me from Paducah, Bowling Green. So eventually I will spread out that way.
Well, when you do that, then will you establish a crew in that city, or will
I will
they
establish
travel?
a crew with people from that city. I want to train my cousin and my brother to be supervisors for the area, to be where they want to be at. But yes, my phase 2 would be to have a second truck, which is in the near future, and have another crew of 3. So in total, it would be, for this crew, this 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 total employees.
Okay. Well, I have another question or comment. I know Marion's son washed trucks at the mines where his father worked or whatever, and these are pickup trucks and that type of thing. Would your business ever enter into something like that, or is that just to mom and pop or?
No, that's something that we often do specialize. It just takes a little bit more time to wash them trucks. With my system that I run, my profit is in a route. So if I have to spend 45 minutes traveling back, that's 45 minutes I have to pay an employee. That's fuel that I have to pay. So when I could wash right here and next door might be another account and go from there, it's a route profit. So however you create your route, however the easiest way is how you can maximize your profit.
You talked about how a lot of the really small shops, the mom and pops, as you call them, fail, and it sounds like it's because of their inability with large accounts to sustain the 30, 60, or 90-day waiting period on your ARs, your accounts receivable. How have you been able to do that? You're a small shop.
I did not go undercapitalized. I made sure I had enough capital to keep me afloat. So going undercapitalized, it might be a great idea, but if you go undercapitalized in a business, you're gonna fail no matter what.
Right.
So that's the reason we made my franchise developer. We sat down, talked about figure out numbers and what it was gonna take, how much money I was gonna lose on the first 2-3 months, but reaping the profit afterwards if it counts.
Permit me an observation, and I think I'm probably speaking on behalf of everybody in the room.
Yes.
You may not have an MBA.
Sure.
You may have had help through this franchise, but you were smart enough to listen to them and do your own research. I'm impressed. We're happy to have you here in
Thanks.
Madison.
Yes. It's always a mentality. Rich people, when you put your mentality, you become rich by having other people help you. If you want to stay so-so, then you do it your way. If you micromanage your business, if you always be a micromanager, you're always going to be the same. But if you want to get to that next level, you have to let other people help you, let other people get you there. So,
well said.
Yes.
That's true with whatever level of education you have.
Correct.
Mark is an attorney, but I'll bet he doesn't do his own doctoring. You know? You don't do your
I don't
own
do most of my lawyering these days.
You'll always go to somebody that knows more.
Correct. Yes, that's right. And like I said, Million Cubs, Chamber of Commerce, I think that's something that needs to be put out there more. I've heard of organizations like this, people pushing it. I think, your mom said, go to school, graduate, go to school. My dad always tell me, he would always say, you're gonna regret not going to college. And I said, that's something that, and now that's one of the biggest regrets that I do have, not continuing my education. So the same thing with this, if you keep pushing it, eventually people will see it, and I thank Carol for the inviting me, and y'all gave me the opportunity to be up here. And I know there's a whole lot of other young people out there that need that extra push.
Help us find them.
Correct.
Yes, exactly.
Help us find them.
Well, I just wanted to say kind of what Mark said too. I met him at lunch with the mayor. You had just joined Chamber.
Yes.
And I think, when I came to town, that's the first thing I did was join Chamber, so that, because I didn't know anybody and I wanted to meet people. You did the same thing. You got involved with Chamber and
Yes.
went right away. And I think it was at the very day.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Lee was like, come on over, we're having this lunch with the mayor. And I was like, who are these guys? This is so cool.
Yes.
But just, you know, the fact that you guys are so young and just jumped out and did this, and that you've got, you told me you have FedEx and Cintas and...
Fixing and pickup side techs, Aramark. I've also got Prairie Farms. I'm hoping to do Prairie Farms here locally, which I would dedicate 1 week, bringing my truck down here and picking up 2 or 3 accounts where it would make sense for me. Fixing and pick up their Holland location, which is their corporate. In Indiana.
What can we do for you? How can this group help you?
Learning from y'all's experiences, the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs. Just hearing her talk, I learned some stuff that I could say, hey, you know, this could help my business. So I mean, just experiences and that'd be it.
Is your wife, does she have an entrepreneurial bent as well? I know you said she's a nurse, but of course there are lots of things that nurses can get into as well. Does she have that same mindset?
She's the one that makes me make. She's the one that helps me make the decision. If she's got my back, I know that it makes sense. And if it don't make sense. I might be mad, but it don't make sense because it don't make sense to her.
Having been married a very long time, that's the smartest thing you say.
Yeah.
And she's probably got the stable job with the insurance, right?
That was one of the hardest things, getting away from home. That 100% benefits. Right now, we're not currently insured. Fixing to get to that next level, because I think insurance is you need it, you know, especially having kids.
Is she working?
She is working, but they don't provide benefits where she's there.
Oh, the healthcare industry is the worst of providing insurance. It's ironic.
It's hard, but I've talked to local insurances about getting my insurance, and it makes sense. I think I've never been uninsured since I left home. I was left home, I was uninsured, but ever since I've been up here, I've been insured. And yeah, that was the biggest risk that I took, and one of her biggest concerns about that. But I'm gonna take care of her. I told her I would, so I'm gonna give her that. But that's all I got. I hope to continue being part of me, because I think it's a great organization.
Great. Been a good day, hasn't it? Think of marrying me tomorrow and Friday.
It's 9/11. Do y'all think? Oh, God. Think about that.
Drink a few cups of coffee for us as we're up there. We're excited about going and learn to hopefully how to make this an even stronger initiative, stronger program. Do think with us about how to find more people like these presenters and the past presenters that we've had, because we're not a Nashville or a Chicago or a Kansas City. You know, they've got a whole lot of people that are rolling out new businesses. We've got more, but like Jose said, you know, they're out there. We just need to find them. And so, as you meet people, we really like to try to have people visit at least once before they present, so they get the feel that this is not a Chamber of Commerce pitch. You know, come by for me. It's talking about, you know, mistakes made, lessons learned, challenges, what your motivation is, what your story is in that respect. So work with us, and we'll make this program even better than it is. Thank you, and have a great week.